Who's the better vice captain, Zoro or Rayleigh? It's kind of like choosing a favorite child. Surprisingly easy to do, but very awkward to state in public. Hello and welcome to the Grand Line Review, your source for everything One Piece. My name is Liam and my first mate's name is David. Numerically, that is. He's the first mate I met. We're talking about best friends, and that's a very different story because, to be honest, Dave kinda sucks. But today we are here to examine the best of the categorically not best. The vice captains of One Piece, the men and women. Actually, come to think of it, there are no female vice captains, so let's revise that. The men and the more men who stand in the great shadows of their assorted captains. Today it's time to give them the glory they deserve, which they shall receive via being ranked by a dude in a room on the internet. We are going to pull their names out of this One Piece themed hat, and then we are going to plonk them on a tier list according to their vice captainly qualities. And during the video, we're also going to be giving away a present to a random subscriber, and provided you've hit that shiny red button, well, that could very well be you. And also, today's video is sponsored by Friends and Dragons, which I greatly appreciate, thank you. It's a free-to-play strategy-based mobile RPG involving both friends and dragons. But these are no ordinary friends and or dragons, because this game is rather unique, which is particularly apparent in regards to its controls, allowing players to create unique strategies and giving them access to nigh on endless choices depending on your heroes and, of course, your skill. Speaking of, collecting numerous and powerful heroes is essential, with Friends and Dragons offering more than 150, and with that number, we've got to catch them all. Plus, you can join a guild giving you access to so much more, like being able to chat and team up with players from all across the globe. You can even join my Grand Line Guy guild and we can play dungeons together. Download Friends and Dragons from my links or scan the QR code on the screen and you will get a super special starter pack containing a rare mythic summoning scroll for guaranteed 4-star hero with a 10% chance for a 5-star, as well as a premium summoning scroll, 500 gems, talent token, gold, and XP to level up your heroes and the town. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss this, nor do you want to miss these vice captains. But let's indulge our vices with our first vice captain candidate, who is Marco the Phoenix. And really, I think it's quite difficult to pull a better vice captain right off the bat. I mean, this is the equivalent of hosting a pineapple lookalike contest and having Marco take the stage first. But Marco is a very special vice captain because he has more of a father-son relationship with his particular captain, whereas most of these dynamics are more of a partnership. But Mr. Marco ticks all of the boxes. He is loyal to his captain, a powerhouse for his crew, and his position was so undisputed that he instantly became the leader of the Whitebeard Pirates following the passing of Whitebeard. So rest in peace, Daddy Beardman, and rest in S tier, Marco the Phoenix. And next up we have Silver's Rayleigh. Holy crap. We are really front-loading this tier list because this is now like the equivalent of hosting a pineapple lookalike contest, having Marco go first, but then following him up with an even more pineapple-looking Marco. If that makes sense, I mean, it might not, but that's never stopped me before. Rayleigh is the epitome of what we're looking for in a vice captain. Where Marco had more of a subordinate child sort of relationship, Rayleigh stood on equal footing with Roger as partners, and the fact that both of them were dubbed as kings only reinforces that. So this is slightly absurd, but we need to open up a brand new Rayleigh tier simply to accommodate this man. Alright, please be someone rubbish this time. Ha! I got my wish. It's Jango. I mean, he's not irredeemable rubbish. He's more like recyclable rubbish. He has a purpose elsewhere. Now, this is the equivalent of hosting a pineapple lookalike contest and having the third contender fall asleep and forget to compete. Jango is a man who is loyal enough as a vice captain, I suppose. To his credit, he did keep the Black Cat Pirates together whilst Kuro was masochistically pursuing his hobby of being a little girl servant for 3 whole years. But honestly, I think that says more about Jango in the capacity as a captain rather than a vice captain. In the first mate role, he failed to call out his captain's crap and thus reinforced the doom and defeat of the entire crew. You're a bad man, Jango. Probably not the worst though, which is why we are going to plonk you in C. And something else that sounds like C is K, sometimes. It depends on the word. But starting with K is also a king. It takes a lot to be the vice captain of what is currently known as the largest pirate crew in the world. A lot of discipline, and King really takes his commitment to discipline to the next level. Even more so than Kuro, because King is always ready to receive punishment in his gimp gear. But also, he's always ready to dish it out as well. The Beast Pirates have a rather brutal hierarchical system that favors the strong, and I think that only emphasizes how stunning King must be in this role to maintain a bloodthirsty riffraff 30,000 members strong. A very admirable effort, and King deserves nothing less than the S tier. Nothing more though. He's no Rayleigh. Meanwhile, we have Beppo. I think we can all agree that if being a vice captain was about adorableness alone, then Beppo would be unrivaled. However, he isn't, so he is. That's a very confusing sentence. Beppo is technically the navigator of the Heart Pirates, but not all crews have a named vice captain or first mate. But Beppo does serve that role regardless, at least according to Oda. He doesn't serve it particularly well, mind you, because he's much more of a mascot vice captain and tends to cause Law a lot more trouble than he solves. But Beppo begins with B, and that's all the reason I need to put the adorable bear in the B tier, because I am fickle and easily influenced by polar bears. Alright, here's a fun one. It is Fake Zoro. Fake Zoro's name is actually Manjaro, but due to the nature of who he's impersonating, this does make him the vice captain of the fake Straw Hats. Although fun fact, in the anime the fake Straw Hats are voiced by the real Straw Hats, but in different roles. So Fake Zoro was voiced by Kappa Yamaguchi, who usually does Usopp. Meanwhile, real Zoro got to voice fake Sanji, which was probably fun. But with Fake Zoro, much like his fake captain, he is an undeniable failure in every aspect of life. So much so that sure, we have an empty D tier right there just staring us in the face, waiting to be filled, but that's not quite enough to accurately portray how much of a bungle nut this man is. So we're going to have to open up the illustrious Simon tier to plonk our disappointing swordsman into. Next up we have, it's the special one. It is a gift. Because for every video during this holiday month, we are giving away a gift to a random subscriber. And today's gift is a complete set of Straw Hat bounty posters. I mean, just look at this. You've got Luffy, then you've got someone else, like they're all here. And if you want to win these precious papers, then you just need to do two things. Firstly, subscribe or be subscribed to the channel. And secondly, leave a comment answering the following question. Who is the best vice captain in One Piece and why? And that is legit it. The winner will be announced in our community section, so go ahead, do the thing and win the stuff. Moving along though. It's Killer. Killer has been an absolute highlight of Wano, and everything I love about him comes directly from his undying loyalty to one Eustace Kid. And I suppose it has to be one Eustace Kid, because if there were two, then that loyalty would be split. But Killer has gone through hell and then back to hell again, and is now cursed to continue said hell for the rest of his life. But here's the thing though. So what? That's Killer's mindset anyway. What's done is done, and he will continue giving 110% for the sake of his platonic life partner, Eustace Kid. I mean, I'm assuming it's platonic. I guess I don't know that as a fact. All I know is that the mask would make things very difficult in the bedroom, but hey, Killer gets an A for effort regardless, with the only thing holding him back from S being a slight lack of strength to compete with the truly top tier class of first mateys. And top class is what this guy is not, because it is Sarkis. Remember Sarkis? Probably not, but just as a quick refresher, Sarkis is the Bellamy we have at home. As the first mate of the Bellamy Pirates, Sarkis's role was to add to the various dickery being conducted by Bellamy, and to that end, look, he did a great job. The problem is that Sarkis is useless in every other area. Like, his epithet is Big Knife Sarkis. The only thing he's known for is having a knife that is slightly bigger than usual. Anyway, he's garbage, but we're not throwing him into the Simon dumpster. He's not quite that bad. So instead, we're going to tolerate Sarkis and slap him in the face with a mighty D. Sabo! Wait a minute, he's not a pirate, you internet charlatan. And you're right, Sabo is no pirate. However, he was featured on Oda's color spread with all of the important vice captains, so I did feel it appropriate to add him into the hat. And it's honestly really hard to fault Sabo in this position. We have no idea how large the Revolutionary Army is, but it is a global scale operation. Unlike most Yarmy Hearty pirate crews who, even at their highest level, tend to stick to their very specific empires. Sabo's strength is also undeniable, his loyalty is unquestionable, and starting with the letter S makes him a pretty natural fit for the S tier. Moji, alright, Moji. This is a character who I always forget is a first mate, but Moji is indeed the second in command of the Buggy Pirates. I feel like I always assign this role to Kabaji because he's the one that fought Zoro, and also the one that didn't become morbidly obese and useless as time went on, but no, Moji does retain his position. He's a pretty meh vice captain though. In fact, you know what, we're going to raise that meh to a full-on bleh, because the one thing that Moji does have going for him is his lion Richie, and in that case, I would argue that Richie should be receiving more credit than Moji in any given situation. And there was even that one time where Richie did briefly become the captain of the Buggy Pirates after beating up both Moji and Kabaji. So here's what we're gonna do. Moji, you are going to be shat right down into the Simon tier, and Richie, we are going to officially recognize you for your valiant effort carrying Moji in the vice captain position by honoring you with a D tier. We now have a real vice captain, and that is Katakuri. In many ways, Katakuri is the perfect first mate, because what he does best is protect his crew, albeit he protects them from their captain. Katakuri manages Big Mom and ensures the prosperity of the Charlotte family, because if things were left to his mother, then everyone would be devoured like a defenseless yet delicious croquembouche. But it's that lack of being able to fully trust his captain that actually hurts Katakuri in this position. As a vice captain, look, he certainly does his best, but there's a key relationship missing here, one that Marco, King, and Sabo all have with their respective captain people. So Katakuri, shockingly enough, is going to have to settle for imperfection with an A tier. Yo, it's Brook. Because he was second in command back in the ye old days of the Rumbar Pirates, and he served that role exceptionally well. He supported Yorkie and even took on the mantle of captain after his death. Yorkie's, that is, not Brook's. After Brook's death, he did nothing, but he acted as captain with full respect of the Rumbar Pirates behind him. And you know, Brook wouldn't seem it these days, but he was a natural leader. All he was lacking was a level of decent strength. Unfortunately, he was simply too weak for the Grand Line and ultimately unable to protect his crew, which is going to bump Brook down to a B. Aladdin. Here we have the first mate of the Sun Pirates, formerly led by Jinbei and formerly led by Fisher Tiger. Although I suppose that Aladdin is now theoretically the third generation captain of the Sun Pirates now that Jinbei is a Straw Hat, I don't think you're allowed to double dip. But Aladdin, he's cool, he's loyal, he's powerful-ish, and he's a big fish married to an even bigger fish, because there's always a bigger fish. So just like a wisteria awaiting pollination in the spring, we're going to smack Aladdin with a B. Get out of the hat. All right, here he is at last. It is Mr. Zoro. Look, I think we all know where he belongs. Zoro is supremely powerful, exceptionally loyal, and the best thing to happen to the world of vice captainry since sliced Rayleigh. So you know what, I'm actually gonna make a potentially controversial move, and we are going to shove this Zoro straight up into the Rayleigh tier. And feel free to dismiss this as the ramblings of a raving Zoro fanboy, but he is the main character's vice captain in the endgame of the series, so I think he's just about earned his place at the top. Shiryu. He is a bit of a tough one to judge because we've really only seen Blackbeard and Shiryu interact on one occasion during Impel Down, and we're left to assume that the only reason why Shiryu is considered the vice captain of the Blackbeard Pirates is pretty much down to raw power. And that's cool but not great, because sure, being able to hit things really hard is quite important, but being a vice captain is more about the relationship with the captain and the rest of the crew. And right now, Shiryu, he honestly feels a bit arbitrary, so until proven otherwise, he is going to get slapped with a C. This hat's feeling mighty light. Oh my, Ben Beckman. Ben has a similar problem to Shiryu in that we haven't seen a lot of his vice captain dynamic, but he does have the legacy and respect of Shanks, someone who we respect and have legacy with, and through that chain of respect, I would plonk Ben Beckman well and truly in the A tier, with the promise of potentially upgrading him to an S in the future once we explore the Red Hair Pirates a bit more. And there we go, that's one mighty fine One Piece vice captain tier list right there. But for something else over here, we have another video, because there's always more to learn, explore, and experience with this wonderful series, so I look forward to seeing you there.